All right, our clear skies, July 2021. The topic of this one is the out-of-home transaction framework is evolving. I was blessed to have a friend, Andy Sriubas, send me a product that he'd created, a digital white paper. Just kind of plowed through that. It was a couple of weeks ago. They did a presentation at the World Out-of-Home conference in May of 2021. You can find that link on Andy Sriubas. His LinkedIn account is where that live link is. For those of you who get this email that goes out, I'll put it there in an attachment. And so I just wanted to give you my takeaway on what that was about. It's an 8-page document. It's just a high level on what really the out-of-home needs to do and why the independents should participate. The key is that our whole out-of-home industry has a huge potential to evolve right now. It is for the last 20 years, it evolved from desktop, Google, clicking and those kinds of things, and then mobile is swiping on your cell phones. But what we as out-of-home can do is so significantly much more than just clicks and views. We can do guaranteed placements. We can do tailored plans. We can pick locations to target and those kinds of things. You can't do on a mobile phone. The mobile phones move around. The internet does what it does. It kind of pops in and out. So here's why it really matters to you and matters to us. 2021 forecast is $224 billion in mobile ad and desktop ad sales. Compare that to the out-of-home industry, which is targeted around $8 billion. That's a huge, huge difference. So if we could just go out and get 1% of that $200 billion, it's 224, but 1%, that's $2 billion. It'd be a 25% increase in our whole out-of-home industry if we could just figure out how to coalesce and come together and go get it. It's really that simple. Independents, to do this, got to band together. We have to band together. The big three are working together already. They're publicly traded. They've got teams. They've got wild and huge sums of people that are out there doing their stuff. That's great. Individually, our 20 and 50 and 100 and 500 face plants really can't do that unless we band together. So IBO Speedway is what's migrating to be more agnostic and to do those things, to pull all of you in from these different areas. And we're really, really wide open to collaboration with the efforts of the industry kingpins that are out there. Here are 7 tactical steps that Andy outlined in that document for out-of-home success. The first one is measurement. It needs, whatever we do, whatever we use, it has to be transparent. We have to see the processes. We have to see that they can be then audited, that the processes aren't monkeying around with the data. They got to have common formats. We all can't be talking like the way that Europe does with the United States. We've got the Fahrenheit versus Celsius, metric versus King's rules. We just can't do that. We have to align ourselves better so that the buyers can plan, they can purchase, they can publish, and then they can prove what they purchased. And so that's the number one of step 7s. Value matrix is the other one. To be able to have a campaign framework, we need to be able to set up so that they can see how this fits into them. And we need to really be able to sell ourselves out of home to those brands and to the agencies and to the buyers that the utility of the out of home, what we can do. There's a huge amount of power that we have. Audiences is the third one. Their basic demographics need to be included, but more importantly, we need to be able to integrate with third-party solutions. Media Rating Council audits a whole bunch of different products that are out there that we're unaware of in out-of-home, typically speaking. The buyer side, the planning side understands it, but we don't fully understand that. We need to get better at learning that. We also need to be able to customize our plans, customize the ways that a buyer think outside. I always used to say, gosh, I got to think like my buyer thinks in order to get them to sell in a real estate. You don't sell it if you're not thinking what the buyer thinks. We have to do that as an industry. And then lastly, of the audience side, we have to be able to include what's called first-party data. It's like the credit card information from Target, the credit card information from Walmart, those kinds of things, Macy's, Neiman Marcus. They all have customer data. We've got to be able to tie our world into that to tap in tap into them easily. It's not easily done, but it's really easily said. The next one is a legal framework. We need to be able to have ease of trade. We need to be able to have spots versus guaranteed placement, and we need to be able to accommodate dynamic campaigns that just change on the fly. There's got to be that legal framework. We know what the typical contractor's insertion order comes in. We know we need to do those things, but we have to evolve into some of these others. And then there needs to have to be a financial path. There has to be a way to recognize the revenues that are coming through on a real-time basis. Right now, what I have to do with what we do is a little bit clunky, and it's not live real-time. We're evolving there, but it's not there. I fully understand the need for that. And we have to be able to have what they call make goods. What happens when your power goes down? You bought it, guaranteed placement's there, and it didn't go down. It didn't play for a week, or it didn't play for 2 days, or whatever. And you can't prove that. We have to have a mechanism in place to make that right for the buyer so they don't feel like they've been cheated. Then we got to improve our admin. Administration across the board as an industry is kind of scattered. And at IBO, we've got a really tight system of how we administer all of our insertion orders and our POPs and whatnot. But what we don't have is post-campaign analysis. That would be wonderful to be able to have products that could tell where a mobile phone went by a billboard, saw your billboard for a sandwich on sale, and then went to the place and then attributed that view that went by to buying that sandwich. That's where the industry needs to get to a whole, and why it's very important for us as far as one of these tactical steps to be participating in that. And then the other thing are integrations. Sixth one, it's direct verticals, whether it's connecting in directly to several others, whether it's various tools for the AEs to understand where it all is. Programmatic is one that's out there as part of the integrations. And then there's a self-serve model. There's going to be a point where some of the buyers want to move away from a model where they're paying somebody, a middleman, to do it. They want to decide themselves and come direct to us. That's what we're implementing with the IBO Speedway. And then the back office efficiency and workflow. Each individual company needs to step up the bar, take a little bit of budget, improve their back house operations. There's a number of products out there. We're going to be agnostic to them as long as they tap into our IBO Speedway. We'll take those inflows, and we'll be able to take planning, and we'll be able to take availability and serve those up to the different verticals that we connect to. And lastly, we have to get into objective-based selling. Andy's done a really good job of identifying this. We need to tailor what our solutions are to the buyers. I think OAAA is doing a terrific job in hiring someone like Christina Radican to put out there to understand what the buy side needs and then communicate to us on how we need to evolve to go get that. Again, back to $224 billion. If we can just take 1%, just 1% by doing a great job, we could add $2 billion to the $8 billion and increase our overall take by 25%. And then it'll build from there if we get those in place. And then we need to have to recognize with them that our OOH is complementary. It's not just that it's us and nothing. Many of us are now using our Frequence online ad sales program that we're selling out-of-home online ads along with and complement with our billboards. And they're finding great success at doing that. We need to build upon that. We need to do it with CTV. We need to do it with all the other types of ads that are out there that your buyers are paying for and doing now. We just need to be able to go and take their budget or ask their budget if we can participate in there. And then some key points is that we just have absolutely powerful control. That Andy pointed out nicely in this document is that we have brand safety that's there. We have the ability to do a number of things that give them security on location based. They can target. They can do a number of things that they cannot do with mobile. And so what do we as an industry, what that was my takeaway from this document, what we should do as an industry? It's that he who has the money makes the rules. And that's the bottom line. The big budgets, the Procters & Gamble's, the Coca-Colas, the Pepsi-Colas, they have the money. They want to buy a certain way. They have the rules. And we just can't do the things the way that we want and the way we've always done it. And if we do, we're going to get run over, and the people that stay in that lane are going to get trampled. those that evolve to there will benefit and take some of the money from those other budgets. It doesn't mean that we have to give up and completely have no input, by no means. But we can't write our own rules and expect those that are already trading in this one particular way in world to accommodate to us. That's why they haven't bought us in the past. That's why it's a 224 versus an 8 ratio. We need to raise that bar by participating a little better. I commend OAAA. They've done a terrific job of adopting guidelines. They've taken a lot of heat, I think, inappropriately. They really square on. I think they're going to be lining up beautifully with the MRC standards based on what my knowledge is and how that process is evolving. Key is that there are auditors involved with going through this direction. And I just love it. OAAA is endorsing and pushing, wanting products that go out there to be endorsed. OAAA has also endorsed the Open Direct protocol. It's a programming language. It doesn't mean much to most of us, but the key thing is that's going to be the future, the commonality, the way we individually and then collectively communicate together toward these buyers. And that's something that IBO Speedway is in the process of adopting, is that our next API that's probably several weeks on the out, one of the verticals that we're dealing with, it will be Open Direct compliant. We're really working hard to go in that direction. I'm excited that OAAA has come out and do that, to do that. So what can you independently do? You can open up your thoughts about cooperation. Many of you have. We brought in the big boys to our conferences. They've talked to us. Our Pittsburgh conference coming up is going to feature again Andy Sriubas and Anna Bogger there. We're going to have another participant, Ian Dallimore from Lamar, will be there to talk to us about all these changes that are happening. We've got a couple of people in the audience world and traffic metrics world that'll be there. Somebody from the Media Rating Council will be there as well to talk to you, answer your questions independently, deliver what these topics and these changes and this evolution that's happening. It's exciting times, and we encourage people to be there for that. And then those of you that have not gotten on board with our IBO Speedway that are independents, you really need to do so. There's no compelling reason at all why you should not. It is completely complementary to what you do. You cannot accept anything that comes to you, but it binds and pulls all it together that's in this framework that we're talking about evolving. So another thing you can do is read some more. Do some more learning about audience. Learn more so what the brands want. And lastly, if you have questions about any of this, call myself, call Becky Smith, send us an email, support@IBOUSA, Becky@IBOUSA.org, Chris@IBOUSA.org. It's exciting times where we're going. We have a lot of things that need to be talked about, but I'll save that for our next newsletter and next month's Clear Skies. From the sunny side of the Arbuckles, have a wonderful July.